Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations.
Duck is very proud of being Great Western. He talks endlessly about it, but he works hard too and makes everything go like clockwork. It was a splendid day. The trucks and coaches behaved well. The passengers even stopped grumbling. But the engines didn't like having to bustle about. There are two ways of doing things, Duck told them. The Great Western way or the wrong way. I'm Great Western and don't we know it, they groaned. The engines were glad when a visitor came. He purred smoothly towards them. The Fat Controller introduced him. Here is Diesel. I have agreed to give him a trial. He needs to learn. Please teach him, Duck. Good morning, purred Diesel in an oily voice. Pleased to meet you, Duck. Is that James and Henry and Gordon too? I am delighted to meet such famous engines. The silly engines were flattered. He has very good manners, they murmured. We are pleased to have him in our yard. Duck had his doubts. Come on, he said. Diesel purred after him. Your worthy fat Sir Topham Hat to you, ordered Duck. Diesel looked hurt. Your worthy Sir Topham Hat thinks I need to learn. He is mistaken. We Diesels don't need to learn. We know everything. We come to a yard and improve it. We are revolutionary. Oh, said Duck, if you're Revo Thingagummy, perhaps you would collect my trucks while I fetch Gordon's coaches. Diesel, delighted to show off, purred away. When Duck returned, Diesel was trying to take some trucks from a siding. They were old and empty. They had not been touched for a long time. Diesel found them hard to move. Pull, push, backwards, forward. Oh! The trucks groaned. We can't. We won't. Duck watched with interest. Diesel lost patience. He roared, gave a great heave. The trucks jerked forward. Oh! They screamed. We can't. We won't. Some of their brakes snapped, and the gear jammed in the sleepers. Chuckled Duck. Diesel recovered and tried to push the trucks back, but they wouldn't move. Duck ran quietly round to collect the other trucks. Thank you for arranging these, Diesel. I must go now. Don't you want this lot? No, thank you. Diesel gulped. And I've taken all this trouble. Why didn't you tell me? You never asked me. Besides, said Duck, you were having such fun being Rev whatever it was you said. Goodbye. Diesel had to help the workmen clear the mess. He hated it. All the trucks were laughing and singing at him. Trucks are waiting in the yard, tackling them with Diesel. Show the world what I can do, gaily boasts the Diesel. In and out he creeps about like a big black weasel. When he pulls the wrong trucks out, pop goes the Diesel. Growled Diesel and scuttled away to sulk in the shed. Diesel, the new engine, was sulking. The trucks would not stop singing rudely at him. Duck was horrified. Shut up, he ordered and bumped them hard. I'm sorry our trucks were rude to you, Diesel. Diesel was still furious. It's all your fault. You made them laugh at me. Nonsense, said Henry. Duck would never do that. We engines have our differences, but we never talk about them to the trucks. That would be disgraceful, said Gordon. Disgusting, put in James. Despicable, finished Henry. Diesel hated Duck. He wanted him to be sent away, so he made a plan. He was going to tell lies about Duck. Next day, he spoke to the trucks. I see you like jokes. You made a good joke about me yesterday. I laughed and laughed. Duck told me one about Gordon. I'll whisper it. Don't tell Gordon I told you. And he sniggered away. Oh, guffared the trucks. Gordon will be cross with Duck when he knows. Let's tell him and pay Duck out for bumping us. They laughed rudely at the engines as they went by. Soon Gordon, Henry, and James found out why. Disgraceful, said Gordon. Disgusting, said James. Despicable, said Henry. We cannot allow it. They consulted together. Yes, they said. He did it to us. We'll do it to him and see how he likes it. Duck was tired out. The trucks had been cheeky and troublesome. He wanted a rest in the shed. The three engines barred his way. Whoosh! Keep out. Stop fooling, said Duck. I'm tired. So are we, hissed the engines. We are tired of you. We like Diesel. We don't like you. You tell tales about us to the trucks. I don't. You do. I don't. You do. The fat controller came to stop the noise. Duck called me a galloping sausage, spluttered Gordon. Rusty red scrap iron, hissed James. I'm old Square Wheels, fumed Henry. Well, Duck? Duck considered. I only wish, sir, he said gravely, that I'd thought of those names myself, if the dome fits. Oh, he made trucks laugh at us, accused the engines. The fat controller recovered. He'd been trying not to laugh himself. Did you, Duck? Certainly not, sir. No steam engine would be as mean as that. Diesel lurked up. Now, Diesel, you heard what Duck said. I can't understand it, sir. To think that Duck of all engines. I am dreadfully grieved, sir, but know nothing. I see, said the fat controller. Diesel squirmed and hoped he didn't. I'm sorry, Duck, but you must go to Edward's station for a while. I know he will be glad to see you. As you wish, sir. Duck trundled sadly away, while Diesel smirked with triumph.
Duck and Percy enjoy their work at the harbour, pulling and pushing trucks full of cargo to and from the quay. But one morning, the engines were exhausted. The harbour was busier than ever. The fat controller promised that another engine would be found to help them. Huh, it's about time, said Percy. I ache so much I can hardly get my wheels to move, agreed Duck. They waited for the engine to arrive. It came as a shock when he did. Good morning, squirmed Diesel in his oily voice. The two engines had not worked with Diesel for a long time. What are you doing here? Gasped Duck. Your worthy fat, Sir Topham Hatt sent me. I hope you are pleased to see me. I am to shunt some dreadfully tiresome trucks. Shunt where? Said Percy suspiciously. Where? Why, from here to there, purred Diesel, and again from there to here. Easy, isn't it? With that, Diesel, as if to make himself quite clear, bumped some trucks hard. Woo! Screamed the trucks. Grrr, growled Diesel. Percy and Duck were horrified. They did not trust Diesel at all. They refused to work and would not leave their shed. The fat controller was enjoying his tea and ice bun when the telephone rang. So there's trouble in the harbour yard? I'll be there right away. Diesel was working loudly and alone. Cargo lay on the quay. Ships and passengers were delayed. Everyone was complaining about the fat controller's railway. Percy and Duck were sulking in their shed. What's all this? demanded the Fat Controller. We're on strike, sir, said Percy. Yes, added Duck. Beg pardon, sir, but we won't work with Diesel, sir. Then, in a quiet, hurt voice, he added, You said you'd sent him packing, sir. I have to give Diesel a second chance. I am trying to help you by bringing Diesel here. Now you must help me. He was the only engine available. Percy and Duck went sadly back to work. Next morning, things were no better. Diesel's driver had not put his brakes on properly, and Diesel started to move. He went bump straight into Percy. Percy had an awful fright. Wake up there, Percy, scowled Diesel. You have work to do. He didn't even say he was sorry to Percy. Later, Diesel bumped the truck so hard that the loads went everywhere. What will the Fat Controller say, gasped Percy. He won't like it, said Duck. So who's going to tell him, I wonder, said Diesel. Two little goody-goody telltales like you, I suppose. Percy and Duck did not want to be telltales, so they said nothing. Diesel, thinking he could get away with his bad behaviour, was ruder than ever. Next day, he was shunting trucks full of china clay. He banged the trucks hard into the buffers, but the buffers weren't secure. The silly trucks were sunk. Soon, the Fat Controller heard the news. The trucks were hoisted safely from the sea, but the clay was lost. The Fat Controller spoke severely to Diesel. Things worked much better here before you arrived. I shall not be inviting you back. Now, Duck and Percy, I hope you won't mind having to handle the work by yourselves again. Oh, no, sir. Yes, please, sir, replied the engines. Whistling cheerfully, they puffed back to work, while Diesel sulked slowly away.
Stepney, the Bluebell engine, works closely with his friend Rusty. One day, the Fat Controller came to see him. Rusty tells me you're in need of change, so I want you to help Toby and Mavis in the quarry. Oh, thank you, sir, said Stepney. Shall I be away long? Just today, replied the Fat Controller. But please be careful, it's easy to get lost up there, so be back before dark. We will, said the driver. Stepney soon arrived at the quarry. We're glad you're here to help us, said Toby. Are those my trucks? Asked Stepney eagerly. Only some of them. There's masses more in the sidings, replied Mavis. The more the merrier, whistled Stepney. Stepney was really enjoying himself. The dustier he became, the harder he worked. Mavis and Toby were impressed. The quarry foreman spoke to his driver. We have a night special to take to the building site at the new branch line. Do you want to pull the train? Yes, please, said the driver. But he should have asked the Fat Controller first. Night came. Be careful, Stepney, advised Toby. I will, and thank you for a lovely day. I do hope I can come back again. The line can be spooky, said Mavis. Thank you for the warning. And with that, Stepney puffed away into the night. Stepney arrived on time and made the delivery of rock and stones for the workmen. Then he set off for home. That's when the trouble began. The fog came down. Mavis was right. Suddenly, everything does look spooky. There's a signal box. And the signal light is green. Someone must have been expecting us. But they hadn't. The points had been set in the wrong direction, but Stepney didn't realize this. Home, here we come, he thought. Then they approached an unknown area. The driver made a decision. It's best if we rest here until the fog clears. What are those strange sounds, wondered Stepney. Then the fog slowly lifted. Oh no, wailed Stepney. We're in the scrapyards. His driver and fireman went for help. Stepney was all alone, but not for long. 2 diesels approached. Got you this time, Stepney. You'll make very fine scrap indeed, Buffer and Bert. The diesels took him to the large smelter's shed. Bye-bye, Stepney, said the diesel. Stepney looked up. Above him was a huge grabber. This engine's not for scrapping, shouted Stepney. The grabber wasn't listening. But just as it was about to grab hold of him, it stopped. There stood the Fat Controller. It's a good thing I've chosen to visit this yard tonight. Saving you from scrap is getting to be a habit, Stepney. Please stop it. Yes, sir, but I have learned something. What's that? There's no place like home. And that's exactly where you're going now. Bluebells forever, sighed Stepney. The engines on the island of Sodor like feeling responsible, reliable, and really useful. They work hard to complete their jobs on time. They don't like confusion and delay. But the troublesome trucks delight in mischief, and their mischief causes trouble, as poor Henry found out. Henry has had an accident and been sent for repairs, said the Fat Controller. There are no other engines available, so Diesel will help until Henry returns. Yes, sir, puffed the engines, but they weren't happy. The engines didn't like Diesel. He was always being rude and always showing off. I hope Henry's mended soon, said Percy. He moves more trucks than 3 diesels put together, agreed Thomas. Trucks are no one's friends, huffed Gordon. The next day, Diesel was working at the docks. When the Fat Controller sees how good I am, he bragged to the trucks, he'll get rid of steam engines once and for all. This gave the troublesome trucks an idea. As Diesel shunted them together, they started to sing. Is that all you can haul? Henry's loads are longer. Is that all you can haul? Henry must be stronger. Diesel was cross. He was sure that he was stronger than Henry. I'll push you all at the same time, he said. The trucks giggled. Push us all, that's the longest. Push us all, you'll be the strongest. That's me, said Diesel, the world's strongest engine. And Diesel shunted 5 trucks together. Then 10. Then 15. Soon he had an enormous line of 20 trucks. What's Diesel doing? Cried Percy. He thinks he's the world's strongest engine, replied Thomas. Diesel didn't know the shunters had set the brakes on the trucks. The troublesome trucks knew, but encouraged Diesel to push anyway. Push, push, push! Diesel pushed, and he pushed, and he pushed. But the trucks didn't move, so Diesel decided to pull the trucks instead. Heave ho, you can pull, but we won't go, sang the trucks. This made Diesel very cross. He pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled. Help! grease and oil, Diesel sulked, as the trucks laughed and laughed. The Fat Controller looked down crossly at Diesel. I thought you would be a proper dockyard diesel, but I was wrong, he said. Can you make up for lost time, Henry? Oh, yes, sir, Henry replied happily. He backed up to the trucks and the shunters released the brakes. Then Henry pulled away as easy as pie. And the engines cheered. Diesel was sent home in disgrace. But the engines had learnt a lesson. Even troublesome trucks can do you a favour sometimes, chuffed Thomas. Like getting rid of smelly old Diesel, puffed Percy. The Fat Controller's engines love their work. Gordon likes pulling the express. Thomas likes his branch line. And Percy likes taking the mail. But none of them likes being a middle engine. It's no fun being stuck in the middle. One morning, Percy was cheerfully collecting coal trucks from the smelter yards where Arry and Bert worked. They like to play tricks on steam engines. Percy didn't want to fall for their tricks again. But before he knew it, he was stuck in the middle. Oh, bother, chuffed Percy crossly. Little green piggy in the middle, Arry teased. Percy's driver was cross. With trucks in front of him and trucks behind, Percy had to go slowly. James was in the yard when Percy steamed slowly by. It's Slow Coach Percy, James laughed. You wouldn't be laughing if you were stuck in the middle, Percy fumed. And he fumed all the way to the coaling plant. One by one, he shunted his trucks onto the tipper's loading ramp. And the coal was unloaded. Percy was not allowed to cross the loading ramp until the tipper had been turned off. It was against the rules. But as soon as his driver and fireman left, there was trouble. Henry arrived to pick up coal. He bumped into the trucks, and the trucks bumped into Percy. Percy was pushed onto the loading ramp. Help! Cried Percy. I'm not a truck! But no one heard him. Percy was hoisted up. Tipped over. And brought back down again. After Percy was lowered back onto the ground, the manager was very cross. You have caused confusion and delay, he said. I'll have to report this to the Fat Controller. That night, the Fat Controller spoke severely to Percy. I'm very disappointed in you, Percy, he said. You know it's against the rules to go on the tipper's loading ramp. Sorry, sir, Percy said sadly, but it wasn't my fault. It's because those diesels made me a middle engine. Nevertheless, you will shunt trucks in the yard until I can get to the bottom of this. Pa, said James, thinking no one could hear. I could handle those diesels with bent buffers and a busted boiler. Then you will do Percy's run to the smelter. Yes, sir, said James. The next day, James arrived at the smelter. He was determined not to be tricked by Arry and Bert. Hello, James, oozed Arry. Can't I learn a thing or two from those who know? Just get my trucks ready and stay out of my way, puffed James importantly. Yes, sir, Bert chimed greasily. James cheerfully backed up to his trucks. He was certain he had fooled Arry and Bert, but he was wrong. Little red piggy in the middle, chortled Arry. Just like Percy, jeered Bert. I am not like Percy, huffed James. I am not a middle engine, and I'm not moving. And he didn't. When the Fat Controller heard the news, he sent Percy to fetch James. This made Percy happy. He buffered up to James and took him along with all the trucks to the docks. Right on time, said the manager. But what is that big red engine doing in the middle? Learning, Percy replied. Learning what? Learning to be a middle engine. James covered himself in steam, hoping no one would recognise him. But it was no good. There is only one big red engine on the island, and everyone knows his name is James.
What's that just around the corner? Something in the rocks and trees. Slowly, slowly getting closer. Makes you want to puff and wheeze. Monsters everywhere hiding in the trees. Just behind the rocks blowing in the breeze. Monsters everywhere doing as they please. They try to scare you. Is your boiler getting colder as you slowly puff around? Must be brave, you must be bolder. It's no more than silly sounds. Monsters everywhere hiding in the trees. Just behind the rocks blowing in the breeze. Monsters everywhere doing as they please. They try to scare you. Look out, look out, they're all about. Where? Look out, they're all about. Where? Look out, they're all about. Where? Oh, that's not so scary. Monsters everywhere hiding in the trees. Just behind the rocks blowing in the breeze. Monsters everywhere doing as they please. They try to scare you. Monsters everywhere hiding in the trees. Just behind the rocks blowing in the breeze. Monsters everywhere doing as they please. They try to scare you.
It was full steam ahead on the island of Sodor. All the engines were running on time. They wanted to finish their work quickly because tonight was Halloween. The engines love seeing the children in their Halloween costumes. And the engines loved to hear tales of ghostly engines and scary steam trains. That evening, the Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. "Thomas and Emily, you must go to the smelter's yard," he said. "An important delivery of iron must be collected right away." "Yes, sir," they puffed. Percy thought the smelter's yard was spooky. He was worried about his friends. "Look out for ghosts," he whistled nervously. "It is Halloween." "There's no such thing as ghosts," Thomas said cheerfully. "It's just silly make-believe," added Emily, and they steamed off to the smelter's yard. The sun was setting, and it was getting dark. "Imagine being scared of Halloween," puffed Thomas. "Or the smelter's yard," sniffed Emily. "Pah," added Thomas. Thomas and Emily enjoyed feeling brave. But when they got to the smelter's yard, it was very spooky. "Oh my," whispered Emily. "Oh dear," hissed Thomas. They puffed slowly through the piles of jagged steel and twisted scrap. The air grew hotter, and smoke grew thicker. Arry and Bert were lurking nearby. The two diesels saw the chance to scare a couple of steamies. When Thomas and Emily rolled by, they moaned and groaned. It sounded spooky. "What was that?" snapped Emily. "You said there was no such thing as ghosts." "Silly make-believe, you said," gasped Thomas. Suddenly a truck began to shudder and shake. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. "Help!" wailed Emily. "It's a ghost! Let's get away from here!" They didn't know Arry and Bert had been bumping the flatbed's buffers. The two naughty diesels were having great fun. Thomas and Emily pulled up to the smelting shed. They gasped at the ghostly shadows and fizzing sparks. Their wheels felt as if they were frozen, but they had to go inside. "I hope the ghost hasn't gone in there," quaked Thomas. "Me too," quivered Emily. And they both rolled slowly into the smelting shed. Inside, chains clanked and strange shadows danced across the walls. Must be brave, Thomas puffed. But it was spooky. Emily was turning round, ready to shunt some trucks. A great whoosh of sparks lit up the shed. "That's my buffers!" cried Emily. Emily was scared. She didn't notice the huge white tarpaulin. It fell, covering her from funnel to footplate. "The ghost! It's got me!" She steamed away as fast as her pistons could pump. Thomas thought Emily was the ghost, and he raced out of the smelting shed. "The ghost is after me!" cried Thomas. Arry and Bert thought Emily was the ghost too, and they raced away. Thomas was right behind them, and Emily was right behind Thomas. "Help!" Emily cried. "The ghost has got me!" Arry, Bert, Thomas and Emily raced towards Tidmouth's sheds. Tidmouth's sheds was quiet and peaceful. All the engines were fast asleep. Thomas's whistle soon woke them up. "It's Thomas!" cried Percy. "Something must be wrong!" Suddenly he saw Thomas, Arry and Bert racing into the yards. "Stop!" he cried. Arry, Bert and Thomas applied their brakes. They stopped just in time. "The ghost is after us," whistled Thomas. Percy was scared, but just then Emily raced under a signal and the tarpaulin flew off. "That's no ghost," said Percy. "That's Emily." The engines didn't feel scared anymore, but they did feel foolish. The Fat Controller arrived wearing his pyjamas. "What is all this fuss and bother?" he boomed. "It has caused confusion and delay." "But, sir," cried Thomas, "the flatbeds were rattling, and we heard moaning," said Emily. "And groaning," added Thomas. The Fat Controller looked at Arry and Bert. "Do you know anything about this?" he asked sternly. "It was us, sir," Bert mumbled. "For your punishment, you will go back and collect the iron at once," said the Fat Controller. "Yes, sir," said Arry and Bert, and they rumbled away. Whenever Thomas and Emily went back to the smelter's yard, they knew there was nothing to be scared of. After all, there is no such thing as ghosts. It was all silly make-believe. Thomas and the Stinky Cheese. The island of Sodor is beautiful all year round. In summer, the hedges are full of brightly coloured birds. The fields are full of animals, and the smell of wildflowers fills the air. Thomas was at the coaling plant. He was shunting trucks with Diesel, Arry and Bert. Thomas didn't like working with the diesel engines, and the diesel engines didn't like working with Thomas. The problem with working with steamies is that they are much too stinky. And Thomas is the most stinky steamy ever, hooted Bert. Diesel, Arry and Bert laughed and laughed. It's not steamies who are stinky, Thomas puffed crossly. It's the diesels. Just then the Fat Controller arrived at the yard. Thomas, I need you to go to the dairy. There is a delivery waiting for you there. Thomas was happy to be away from the diesels. He was pleased to be going to the dairy. Maybe I will be taking cream to the chocolate factory, he tooted. But when Thomas arrived at the dairy, his trucks were full of stinky cheese. Yuck, huffed Thomas. That's the stinkiest cheese I have ever smelt. You must take it to the docks before the ship leaves, said the dairy foreman. Thomas buffered up. Then he puffed to the docks with the stinky cheese. Bust my buffers, said Thomas. Everyone will smell this cheese for miles. Thomas saw Diesel waiting at a junction. Oh no, moaned Thomas. If Diesel smells how stinky I am, he'll tell everyone that I really am the stinkiest engine on Sodor. And I don't want everyone to think I'm stinky, he puffed. Thomas backed quickly along the track. Thomas, stop, the signalman called. If you go that way, you'll be late. But Thomas had already gone. Thomas raced through the countryside. No one will smell how stinky I am now, he chuffed. But then Thomas saw Arry waiting in the siding. Oh no, it's Arry, moaned Thomas. I can't let him smell how stinky I am. So Thomas backed quickly away and turned left at the next junction. Next, Thomas saw Bert, so this time he turned right. Wherever I go, there are diesel engines, chuffed Thomas. Thomas puffed backwards and forwards across the island. He wanted to stay away from Diesel, Arry and Bert. But then there was trouble. Oh no, groaned Thomas. I'm back at the dairy, right where I started. Suddenly, Thomas saw Arry rumbling towards him. Thomas backed away as fast as he could. But he didn't see Bert pulling up behind him. Thomas bumped into Bert, the stinky cheese shot into the air and splattered down all over Thomas, Bert and Arry. Now we're really stinky, moaned Arry. The most stinkiest engines ever, groaned Bert. Arry and Bert rushed straight to the washdown. Thomas wanted to go to the washdown too, but Thomas's cheese was all over the track. What am I going to do? He puffed sadly. Then the dairy foreman arrived. "Thomas, there is another cheese load ready at the dairy, but you'll have to puff quickly," said the foreman. "The boat is waiting for you." Soon, Thomas was racing to the docks with a new delivery of cheese. Thomas could smell the stinky cheese. Phew, he wished, but he knew he had to carry on. "Must get to the docks, must get to the docks," he chuffed. "Yuck, what a smelly delivery," wished James as he passed. Even though his friends could smell the stinky cheese, Thomas chuffed on. When he arrived at the docks, Diesel was there being unloaded. "You really are the stinkiest steam engine on Sodor, Thomas," he oiled. "Thomas has brought the stinky cheese," cheered the dock workers. "Well, John Thomas," said the Fat Controller, "Sodor cheese is famous for being really stinky, and this is the most stinky Sodor cheese I have ever smelt. You are a really useful engine." "Thank you, sir," puffed Thomas. "Now, go to the washdown," added the Fat Controller. Just then, Arry and Bert arrived at the docks. They were shiny clean and fresh from the washdown. "Diesel, Arry and Bert," boomed the Fat Controller. "Now you can shunt the stinky cheese." "Oh, no," groaned Arry, Diesel and Bert. "Phew," puffed Thomas. "What a stink." Don't go back. Thomas is a busy engine. He is very good at shunting. Thomas thinks he can shunt backwards and forwards faster than any other engine. One day, Thomas and Diesel were waiting at the quarry. The quarry manager arrived. "Thomas, I have a very important job for you. You must fill lots of trucks with stone. Henry will arrive soon to collect them." "Yes, sir." "I have an important job too. I'm sure I'll fill my trucks first." "No, you won't. I can beat a Steamy any day. I'll race you to the hopper." Thomas was sure he could win the race and do his job. But Diesel wanted the race to be tricky. He had a devious idea. "We have to go backwards." "All right, I'll win." So the two engines raced away, backwards. "Steamies are fast and steamies are first," Thomas huffed to himself. Thomas was determined to win. Thomas and Diesel took separate tracks to the hopper. "I'm sure to win now," Thomas thought to himself. Thomas steamed towards the hopper. "I'm first," but Thomas couldn't see that Diesel had arrived first behind him. Thomas bashed into Diesel. Stone poured down from the hopper. Thomas was covered from funnel to footplate in dust. "Ha ha, silly slow steamy, I won the race." Thomas wanted to beat Diesel. "We'll have another race to the washdown, and this time I'll win." "Well, we still have to race backwards." So together the two engines whooshed away. Thomas and Diesel raced buffer to buffer. "Steamies are fast and steamies are first," huffed Thomas to himself. Mavis was at the washdown. She was enjoying a soapy soak, but Thomas couldn't see Mavis. He raced backwards into the washdown and biffed into Mavis, who came off the rails. "Ooh! Rattling rods! Ooh!" Then Diesel rolled in. "I won." Thomas forgot about Mavis. Thomas was enjoying being the winner. "Yeah, well, we both won a race. We must have one more."
Thomas was no longer thinking about his job. All right, let's race to the engine sheds. Whoever wins this race is the fastest. Diesel revved his engine. Thomas pumped his pistons. And the two engines raced quickly away, backwards. Thomas steamed into the lead. Steamies are fast and steamies are first, he huffed to himself. Thomas had to win this race, but Diesel rattled alongside him. Then there was trouble. Arry and Bert were enjoying a rest at the engine sheds, but Thomas and Diesel couldn't see them. They raced backwards towards Arry and Bert. With a crash and a bash, Thomas and Diesel smashed Arry and Bert right through the back of the engine sheds. Stones and timber flew everywhere. Bust my buffers! Oh no! Then Henry arrived. I've come to collect my train. Your train isn't ready. Then the yard manager arrived. Thomas, you have pushed Mavis off the rails, and Arry and Bert right through the back of the engine sheds. Thomas felt worse than ever. Oh no, it's all my fault. I should have done my job and not raced against Diesel. Come on, let's have one more race. No, Diesel, I have an important job to do. Thomas puffed over to Henry. I'll fill your trucks as fast as I can. Your train will soon be ready. And Thomas chuffed quickly away. Thomas felt terrible. I must work very hard to put everything right, he thought to himself. Thomas shunted the trucks under the hopper. Soon they were all filled. And Henry huffed happily away with his train. Then Thomas collected Rocky. Rocky lowered Mavis back onto the tracks. I'm sorry I bashed you. I was trying to win a race. Mavis was relieved to be back on track. Next, Thomas shunted Rocky over to the sheds. Arry and Bert were soon back on the rails. I'm sorry I biffed you. I should have done my job instead of trying to be the fastest. Then Diesel rolled in. We must clear all the trucks of broken stones. Yes, Thomas. At last, all the trucks were loaded with broken rubble from the sheds. So together, Thomas and Diesel shunted the trucks as quickly as they could. At last, all the jobs were done. We still don't know who's the fastest. Let's have another race. All right, but this time we must go forwards. So the two engines raced away to the quarry gates. And they both arrived together. Diesel's special delivery. It was market day on the Island of Sodor. The engines were very busy, chuffing and puffing, taking trucks of fruit and vegetables to market. Diesel wasn't going to market. He had to take slates to the school. The school roof was broken and it was going to rain. The roof needed the slates to be fixed. Diesel clanked through Maithwaite Station. James was there. Children were clapping and cheering. James was very proud.
I have been clapped and cheered all morning. I have a very special.
Diesel was puzzled.
What's so special about your special?
Then Diesel saw that James was taking pretty round pink piglets to Farmer Trotter's farm.
I never have pretty pink piglets to deliver. I am never clapped and cheered. That's because you are a Diesel. Special coming through!
And James whooshed proudly out of the station. Diesel clattered off. He wanted to follow James. He wanted to be clapped and cheered. Then, along the track, Diesel saw Thomas. Thomas was puffing to market. He had a truck of round, shiny apples.
Where are you going with those apples, Thomas?
I'm taking them to market. I must hurry. I have a very busy day.
Then Diesel had an idea.
Those apples are just as pretty as James's piglets. If I take them, I will be clapped and cheered just like James.
So Diesel oiled next to Thomas.
I'm not busy today. I can take your apples to market.
Thomas was surprised.
Thank you, Diesel.
So Diesel left his slate in a siding. He was coupled up to Thomas's truck of round, shiny apples and hurried to be cheered and clapped just like James. Diesel found James at Mammon Station. Children were on the platform. They were clapping and cheering James and his piglets. Nobody cheered and clapped Diesel and his round, shiny apples. Diesel was upset.
I thought my apples were just as pretty as James's piglets. I will find something else that is sure to be cheered and clapped.
Diesel clanked and clattered away. Then Diesel saw Rosie. Rosie was pulling a flatbed of pretty bright flowers.
Where are you going with those flowers, Rosie?
I'm taking them to market. I must hurry. I'm very busy.
Then Diesel had another idea.
Those flowers are as pretty as James's piglets. If I pull those flowers, I will be clapped and cheered just like James. I'm not busy today, Rosie. I will take your flowers to market for you.
Rosie was surprised.
Thank you, Diesel.
Diesel was coupled up to Rosie's pretty bright flowers. Diesel felt very happy. Soon Diesel saw James at a crossing. Children were cheering and clapping. Diesel oiled to a stop with his apples and flowers. No one cheered and clapped for Diesel. He was upset.
I thought my apples and flowers were just as pretty as James's pretty pink piglets. But no one is cheering or clapping.
James puffed proudly away. Diesel clunked crossly to market. Diesel clattered crossly back from market. He passed Farmer Trotter's farm. There was James's flatbed of pretty pink piglets. Then Diesel had a very special idea.
If I take James's piglets to the school children, they are sure to clap and cheer.
So Diesel was coupled up to the piglet's flatbed, and he hooted happily away as fast as his wheels could rattle. Diesel arrived at the school. He saw children standing outside.
Rattling rods! They are sure to clap and cheer me now.
But the children didn't clap, and they didn't cheer. The children were wet, and they were worried.
Trembling tracks! The children don't want to see pretty pink piglets. They want a new roof for their school.
Then there was trouble. The Fat Controller arrived on Thomas. He was cross.
Diesel, what are you doing with James's piglets? And where is the slate for the school roof?
Diesel felt terrible.
I'm sorry, sir. I have been very silly. I brought the piglets to show the children because I wanted to be clapped and cheered. But I see now that the children don't want pretty pink piglets. They want a new roof for their school.
That's right, Diesel. You must put this right. Now.
Diesel clattered away. He wanted the children to be happy. Diesel rattled and raced. He had forgotten all about being clapped and cheered. He only wanted to be really useful.
I must get back to the school with the slate before it rains again.
Diesel arrived at Farmer Trotter's farm.
I'm sorry, Farmer Trotter. I took your piglets to show to the children. I wanted to be cheered and clapped like James. But now, I know I should have taken the slate to the school. That was much more important.
Farmer Trotter was happy to have his piglets back, and Diesel was happy to hurry to pick up the slate. Soon, Diesel was racing back to the school as fast as his wheels could whir. Diesel wheezed into the school. The children were still waiting.
Don't worry, children. Here are the slates for your roof.
The children clapped and cheered.
Hooray for Diesel! Now we won't be wet! Hip hip! Hooray for Diesel! Well done, Diesel! Hip hip hooray! Now we won't be wet!
Diesel heard the children cheer. He saw them clap.
I have never been happier.
Time not so very long ago, there was a little trouble going on. The diesels made the steamies pretty bad, none of them could even get along. There they go, heading for the steamworks. Honking horns, listen to the rolling thunder. Day of the diesels, Arry and Bert, Paxton, Diesel and them. Percy thought he didn't have a friend in the world. How very, very wrong could he be? With a friend like Thomas rolling by his side, he couldn't be in better company. There they go, heading for the steamworks. Whistles blow, listen to the rolling thunder. Cinders and ashes, there's only one thing to do. Put aside your worries and just pull together is the only way to get through. There they go, building it together, all together. Diesel works, rising from the rolling thunder. Day of the diesel, Arry and Bert, Paxton, Diesel and them.
The Lost Puff. Early one morning, the Fat Controller had a very important announcement to make.
Listen carefully now. A section of the track just beyond the water tower at Knapford Bend has buckled in the hot sun. You must take special care and mind your speed when passing through that area.
All the engines were listening very carefully. All the engines except Paxton, the diesel.
Pay attention, Paxton.
I can't help it. Look, there's a duck over there.
Thomas, Paxton, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir.
May I remind you all, and you two in particular, not to be silly. Keep your mind on the job. We don't want any accidents.
I will take these trucks to the shunting yard and keep my mind on the job. No silliness. Soon I'll be coming up to the damaged track the Fat Controller warned us about. I'd better slow down.
As Paxton rolled over the bumpy track, it rattled his radiator and clattered his connectors.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, that's brilliant.
The Fat Controller's words flew out of Paxton's cooling fans. All he could think of was being silly.
Now what's so funny, Paxton?
Listen to the sound I make when I go over the bumpy track. Oh, that's amazing. You try it, Thomas.
That was fun.
Go on, get a good run at it and go back really fast.
Good idea.
Thomas went ahead so he could get a good run up to the bumpy bit of track. Then there was trouble.
Oh, no!
Thomas had bumped right into Toby, who had been taking on water at the water tower. Luckily, nobody was hurt.
Oh, my.
Paxton didn't wait around to see what had happened. He was too upset.
The Fat Controller told me not to be silly, but I was silly. And now there's been an accident, just like he said.
Paxton was in the shunting yard picking up some trucks when Toby arrived.
Morning, Toby. How are you? You'll never guess what happened. Thomas backed into me at the water tower. He got soaked. I'm afraid poor Thomas has lost his puff.
Lost his puff? Oh, no, that sounds serious.
Paxton felt terrible.
Thomas, I'm so sorry. I made you be silly and lose your puff.
But...
Don't worry, I'll find it for you. Stay here. I'll be back just as soon as I can.
But, Paxton, what are you talking about?
Lost puff, lost puff. What does a lost puff even look like? Aha! There it is!
Paxton thought he'd found Thomas's lost puff. But it turned out to be Gordon, building up a good head of steam as he pulled the express. Paxton did feel silly.
That wasn't Thomas's puff. Maybe that's it. On top of the hill!
Paxton hurried off after Thomas's puff. He climbed all the way up to Ulfstead Castle. But no matter how high he went, Thomas's puff still seemed far away.
Hello, Paxton. What are you doing here?
Phew! Hi, Stephen. Thomas lost his puff, and I'm trying to find it. And, well, I thought that might be the lost puff. Up there.
Up there? Well, that's just a cloud.
Yes, of course. I knew that. A cloud. OK. Got to go. Great to see you. Bye, Stephen.
Paxton felt very silly, chasing after a cloud. He sped away as fast as his wheels could carry him.
What do I know about steamies? I'm a diesel.
Suddenly, an idea snuck into Paxton's exhaust stack.
Victor! He knows all about fixing up steamies. He'll know what to do.
Paxton hurried to the steamworks.
Hello, my friend. What can I do for you today? We don't normally repair diesels here.
I know, Victor. I just wondered if you had any spare puff.
Spare puff?
It's for Thomas. We were being silly on the bumpy track, and he backed into Toby and lost his puff. But you repair steamies. You must know about puff.
Toby was laughing so hard, he thought his side plates might fall off. But Paxton didn't think it was very funny.
Thomas has lost his puff, Toby. It's no joke.
I'm sorry, Paxton. Puff just means steam. When Thomas backed into me at the water tower, his firebox got wet. That's all. A steamy can't puff when his fire's gone out.
Ah, I see. That's what you meant by Thomas lost his puff.
Yet again, Paxton felt silly. Until he realized something.
So, all Thomas has to do is wait till his firebox has dried out, and then he'll get his puff back?
Yes.
Great! Thanks, Toby. Oh.
Paxton looked for Thomas back at the water tower.
Thomas, you're okay now.
Yes, thank you, Paxton. See, I found my puff.
Don't be silly, Thomas. All you had to do was wait for your firebox to dry out.
I know. I was only joking.
Oh, but the joke's on me, Thomas. At least I learned something today.
What did you learn? That puff just means steam?
Yes, but I also learned that when the fat controller says don't be silly, I shouldn't be so silly. Where's the duck? Oh, they can't catch
it! The missing Christmas decorations. It was Christmas time on the island of Sodor. Lights and decorations were being put up. Passengers were carrying presents to give to their friends and family. And there was even a Christmas tree at Tidmouth Sheds. The diesel works had a few decorations too. Diesel 10 wasn't very happy.
The Steamies have a lot more decorations than we do.
I went to Tidmouth Sheds to fetch some trucks, and they had loads of decorations.
What about me? I'm a decoration.
Never mind about Sidney. We need some more decorations. And I know just the place to get them. Paxton, come with me!
But the Fat Controller asked me to collect a truck from the shunting yard and bring it here.
Never mind that. Come!
Oh, I don't know about this.
That night, when Thomas and his friends came back to Tidmouth Sheds, they were very surprised.
Where's our Christmas tree?
I don't know. It was still there this morning.
Maybe it got knocked over.
Or maybe it was taken.
Who would take someone else's Christmas tree? Christmas is a time for being kind and giving presents, not taking things that don't belong to you.
Oh, it's falling over again.
Maybe you need to lean it on something, Diesel 10.
There! Oh, our very own Christmas tree. What we need is some lights. And a big decoration for the top of the tree.
Don't forget about me. I'm hanging over the tree.
Yeah, Twinkle Toes. You look great up there. Paxton, come with me.
That night, when Thomas and his friends came back to Tidmouth Sheds, they had another surprise.
Oh, no! Where are all our lights?
This is outrageous. Someone is taking all our decorations.
But who could take someone else's Christmas lights?
I thought you were going to put the lights on the tree.
It's like you said, Sidney. You can be our decoration, since you're still hanging around up there, waiting for your wheels to be delivered.
But we do need something nice to put on the tree.
I know where we can get some garland. Eh, Paxton?
No. Diesel 10, I don't want to take any more decorations. And I have to collect that truck the Fat Controller told me to collect.
No. The next day, when all the Steamies were out working, Diesel 10 came sneaking into Tidmouth Sheds. But he didn't notice a little green tank engine watching him.
Gotcha!
Diesel 10!
Oh, hello, Percy. I didn't see you there.
You put that garland back!
Make me.
Diesel 10 hurried across the island with the garland. And Percy bravely hurried after him.
Follow that diesel! He's taken our garland!
Catch me if you can!
Now the whole steam team was chasing Diesel 10. They followed him right into the diesel works.
Diesel 10! That's our Christmas tree!
And those are our Christmas lights.
And that's our garland, too.
It's not fair. You've got more decorations than us. Everybody likes Steamies better than Diesels.
Nonsense, Diesel 10. The Fat Controller likes all his engines.
Hey, Diesels! Look what the Fat Controller sent to the diesel works for us! Hello, everybody. What's the occasion?
Wow! Look at all those decorations.
And that Christmas tree.
They're from the Fat Controller.
See?
The Steamies took their decorations back and went home. But Percy stayed behind.
Sidney, how long have you been up there?
Not very long, Percy. I mean, I'll forget.
It's been about 2 years. 2 years? That's a very long time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my wheels. I think the order's been misplaced.
Then Percy had an idea. On his way back to Tidmouth Sheds, Percy paid a quick visit to the Fat Controller at Knapford Station. Thomas and his friends were glad to have their decorations back, even though some of them now looked a little bashed and broken.
Oh no, not diesels again.
It's all right.
Is that Sidney?
Yes, Gordon, it's me. And thank you, Percy, for giving me the best present ever. Now I can be a really useful engine again.
Present? What present?
My new wheels!
You gave a diesel a present?
After all the things they've done?
Christmas is a time for being kind and giving presents.
And that's why the rest of the Diesels and I all agreed that you should have these!
But what decorations will you have at the diesel works?
Just me and my new wheels. And these.
No more Mr. Nice Engine. Hero is one of the strongest engines on the island of Sodor. But he's also very polite and kind.
After you, Thomas. Looks like you need a wash.
Thank you, Hero.
One morning, Diesel was shunting some troublesome trucks in the yard.
Now get in line, you silly trucks, and stay still.
Edward had delivered trucks of milk, butter and cheese for Hero to collect.
Right, now it's your turn.
Stop biffing the trucks, Diesel. You're spilling the milk.
It's the only way to get these troublesome trucks to do what you want, Edward. So mind your own business.
Oh.
A little later, Hero arrived.
Good morning, Diesel. Good morning, trucks.
Oh, Hero, don't be such a Mr. Nice Engine. These trucks are nothing but troublesome, and you need to show them who's boss.
No, Diesel. These trucks are no trouble. I am master of the railway.
Hero collected the trucks and puffed away. But he didn't know that Diesel had already spilled the milk. It wasn't long before the trucks started to become troublesome.
You can try and be troublesome, little trucks, but I am master of the railway.
The troublesome trucks made Hero bump and judder, but he just kept puffing all the way to Knapford Station, where the Fat Controller was waiting for him.
At last, the supplies for the cafeteria.
The men worked to unload bread and butter and cheese.
Let's not forget the milk.
But when the Fat Controller opened the door to the milk truck, the milk poured out.
Oh no, my trousers!
Oh, sir, I'm so sorry, sir. I don't know what happened, but the troublesome trucks have been very troublesome today.
I hope you will be more careful on your next job, Hero.
Yes, sir. I will, sir.
And it looks like my next job will be to get my trousers cleaned.
Hero felt very bad about what had happened to the Fat Controller's trousers. Later, as Hero was picking up more cream and butter at Brendam Docks, he saw Diesel again.
What's the matter, Hero?
Oh, Diesel. When I was delivering troublesome trucks this morning, the Fat Controller opened the truck door and milk spilled out all over his trousers. I feel so ashamed.
See? I told you trucks were trouble. You should have shown them who's boss and given them a biff.
No, Diesel. Biffing the trucks is never the right way. It is always best to be polite and kind.
Hero was coupled up to the troublesome trucks. But Diesel was cross. He thought Hero should listen to him.
One day he'll learn.
Then Diesel had a very naughty idea. Instead of adding a brake van to Hero's train, he was coupled up to the end of the line of troublesome trucks. Hero puffed away, pulling the troublesome trucks and Diesel with him. Hero's trucks were biffing and bashing as he went. Hero was still polite and gentle. But he hadn't noticed that Diesel had been coupled to his train.
I'll show Hero what troublesome trucks can do.
The next time Hero puffed up the hill, Diesel put on his brakes to help the trucks go slowly. Hero is a very strong engine, but Diesel is strong too. And Hero had to puff very hard to get to the top of the hill. When they came down the other side, Diesel helped the trucks to go as fast as they could. The troublesome trucks were having fun.
Wow, what's going on?
Hero had never known these trucks to be so troublesome, although he still didn't say anything.
Be polite and kind. Remember, you are master of the way.
This made Diesel even more cross.
Stop that! Right, that's it. No more Mr. Nice Engine. I am master of the railway. That will show you.
Hero stopped so suddenly that 3 big barrels of cream flew into the air.
Not again!
And splattered all over the Fat Controller. And Edward. And Hero.
My trousers!
Oh, no.
The Fat Controller was covered in cream. He was very cross indeed.
Hero, you have caused confusion and delay, and terrible trouble to my trousers.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Diesel tried to sneak away, But Thomas pulled up behind him.
Diesel, where are you going? Hero, why was Diesel pushing you and your troublesome trucks?
Diesel, was it you? Why you the one biffing and bashing me?
And he spilled your milk this morning, Hero.
Diesel.
Sorry.
I am very disappointed in you, Diesel. You must learn the proper way to look after troublesome trucks.
But, sir... yes, sir.
And the best engine to learn from is Hero.
Yes, sir.
Hero was very proud. Hero worked with Diesel to help him learn how to deal with troublesome trucks.
I'll show you.
No, Diesel, you must be polite and kind. And one day, you might also be a master of the railway.
Nice trucks. Good trucks.
Disappearing diesels. Some engines on the island of Sodor give diesels a bad reputation. But Paxton is one of the kindest diesels you could ever meet.
Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, Paxton.
And because he is kind, Paxton has a lot of friends. Paxton is friends with the narrow gauge engines up at the Blue Mountain Quarry.
Hello there, Paxton.
Hello, Scarloey.
And with Salty and Porter at Brendam Docks. Even Cranky is friends with Paxton.
Look, Cranky, I've got your favourite again, Heavy Stone.
Oh, Paxton, you shouldn't have.
But the engine Paxton has to try the hardest to be friends with is Diesel himself.
Oh, Diesel! Hello! Hello?
Unfortunately, Diesel is not a very easy engine to be friends with.
Quick, Paxton is coming. Let's all hide, so he can't find us. It'll be very funny.
Okay. I like funny jokes.
Come on, Sidney. You need to hide too.
Hello? Oh, you'll never guess what happened down at the dock. Hello? Oh, there's nobody here. Diesels? Where can they be? Anybody here?
No.
Hello? What's going on? Something terrible must have happened. All the diesels have disappeared. I have to find them.
I think we've taken this joke a little too far.
Yeah.
What he means is, Paxton was really worried.
Don't be such fussy buffers. It was a joke, that's all. And jokes are really funny.
Paxton didn't think it was a joke at all.
Hello? Any diesels here? I'm a diesel.
But Paxton didn't hear Rusty because he was already hurrying away.
Have you seen any diesels, Thomas?
I can see you.
Not me. The other diesels. They've disappeared. Where's Salty? Is he missing too? Something is making all the diesels disappear.
Don't talk nonsense, Paxton. Salty went by 5 minutes ago.
Ha! Somebody mentioned my name.
Oh, Salty! Thank goodness you're still here.
You're burning fuel over nothing. The other diesels will turn up soon enough.
Oh, do you really think so, Salty?
Oh, no doubt about it, matey. Cool your pistons and fill your tank again.
After all the rushing around, Paxton's fuel was getting low.
I bet my buffers, at the end of the day, the diesels will be back at the diesel works where they belong.
And here's Diesel himself.
Diesel? Where?
Shush, Cranky. Who asked you to put your hook in?
Diesel, wait! Come back!
Paxton doesn't give up easily. I'll give him that.
Diesel, wait!
They don't call me Devious Diesel for nothing.
Yes? Can I help you, Diesel? Is that Diesel over there, Reg?
No, it isn't.
But that did sound like Diesel. That's because it is Diesel, Paxton.
No, it's not. I'm a truckload of sausages.
Sausages? Diesel, wait! Come back! Oh, what do you want to go chasing after him for? He's my friend! Is he really?
Diesel was still having so much fun that he decided to go up to the quarry to hide. But no sooner had he pulled off the mainland than he ran out of fuel.
No! My tank can't be empty.
Finally! Diesel, I've been worried. All the diesels have gone missing.
We weren't missing. We were hiding from you.
Oh, well, that's not a very good hiding place, Diesel. I can see you.
I know. I didn't expect to stop.
A better hiding place would be behind a shed, or some bushes, or even up at the quarry.
I know. I know. I didn't plan to hide here, but I ran out of fuel and...
Oh, well, why didn't you say so?
What are you doing?
I'm shunting you to the next station so you can get some more fuel.
Oh...
Diesel didn't know what to make of this. He hadn't been very kind to Paxton, but Paxton was being very kind to him. Diesel didn't know what to say. He didn't like to say thank you, so he didn't say it.
Why did you help me?
That's what friends are for.
Paxton was just happy to have found Diesel again. He was even happier when he got back to the diesel works and found the other diesels there.
Hello? I was looking for you.
Diesel came back to the sheds and backed into the berth beside Paxton. He still didn't manage to say thank you, but he did manage a friendly smile. And that was enough to make Paxton smile too. wild water rescue. It was the morning after a big storm. The search and rescue team were all very busy, making sure that the island of Sodor was safe once more. The next day, the Fat Controller came to thank them for all their hard work.
Today is a day to be proud of. You have achieved your 1,000th rescue. And to celebrate your achievement, the Mayor is going to come to present you with a new alarm bell for the Search and Rescue Centre.
And then the Fat Controller asked me to take the Mayor there this afternoon.
That's great, Percy.
And that's not all. Photographers will be there too, which means I'm going to have my picture in the newspaper.
But they'll be taking pictures of the search and rescue team, not you, Percy. Percy? Are you okay?
I'm practicing my best photo face. This face? Or this face?
Or this face. If any engine should get their picture in the paper, it should be a modern diesel engine, like me.
Later that afternoon, Percy was on his way to Knapford to pick up the Mayor, and he was very excited indeed.
You made me jump.
Sorry, Percy, but I've got an important message from the Fat Controller. He wants you to pick the Mayor up from the old quarry.
The old quarry? Are you sure? That's a funny place to pick up a Mayor.
Plans change, Percy. You'd better hurry now. You don't want to miss the photographers, do you?
No, I don't. Thanks, Diesel. Bye.
Don't worry, Mr. Mayor. Percy will be here soon. Oh, Diesel, what are you doing here? With a coach?
I'm afraid Percy has a problem, sir.
What kind of a problem?
Well, a steam engine-y kind of problem, sir.
Is something wrong? No. Nothing to worry about. We'll be travelling with Diesel instead. Come along.
Poor Percy had no idea that he'd been sent on a wild goose chase.
Mr. Mayor! It's Percy! I've come to take you to the Search and Rescue Centre! Oh, Mr. Mayor! Mr. Mayor? Are you in there? Oh, no!
Percy was so busy looking for the Mayor that he didn't notice that the track was flooded.
Blistering buffers! My firebox has gone out! I'm stuck! Oh...
But the Mayor was already at the presentation.
Hooray for the 1,000th rescue!
OK, rescue vehicles, let's have your best photo faces, please. Sorry, could we have rescue vehicles only, please? Let's try that again. Best photo faces, please.
Thank you, Diesel. You are a really useful engine.
But not a rescue vehicle.
What's wrong, Diesel?
I wasn't even in it. I mean, why? Why would they not want a modern diesel like me in the photo?
What photo?
The photo which will be on the front page of the newspaper, with the mayor and those silly rescue vehicles in it.
But I thought Percy was taking the mare. Diesel, where's Percy?
I don't know. He should have been back from the old quarry by now.
The old quarry?
Oops.
Mr. Mayor, is that you?
Percy, there you are.
Diesel?
What are you still doing here? Having a bath?
No, I'm stuck. My firebox has gone out.
Don't worry, Percy. I may not be a rescue vehicle, but I can rescue you. I'm a modern diesel engine, so I don't have a firebox. I have a generator. Hey, what's wrong?
Maybe your generator got wet, Diesel.
But that means we're both stuck.
Oh, I'm sorry, Diesel. I've ruined everything. My firebox, your generator, the mayor's presentation.
Yes, about that. I'm afraid I tricked you down here so that I could take the mayor instead.
You tricked me? But why?
So I could get my picture in the paper, Percy. I'm sorry.
Are you trying to say...
Hey, look! It's the rescue vehicles! I found them! They're over here!
Right, Diesel. I'm coming for you first. Get ready. Percy, Diesel?
Oh, hello. I hope it was all right that Diesel collected you instead of me. It's just that he so wanted to get his picture in the...
Hurrah for the search and rescue team's 1000th and first rescue.
The next day, Diesel was still being repaired at the diesel works.
Oh no, not Percy. What's he doing here? Hopefully he won't see me. Don't look up. Don't look up.
Hello, Diesel.
Percy, I didn't see you.
I just came by to thank you.
To thank me? Are you sure?
Oh, I know you tricked me and everything, but you did try and rescue me too, and that makes you a really kind and useful engine. So, thanks.
Diesel didn't know what to say, but luckily he didn't have to say anything, because just then the Fat Controller arrived.
Hello, Percy. Hello, Diesel. I thought you might like to see this. Look who's on the front page of the Sodor Times.
Looks like you did get your picture in the paper after all, Diesel. Good photo face.
Diesel's Ghostly Christmas. Christmas is the busiest time of the year for the engines of Sodor. There are more passengers and more deliveries than at any other time of the year.
Merry Christmas, Thomas. All ready for the Earl's grand Christmas lunch tomorrow?
Not yet, Edward. I've got to get these singers to their rehearsal and then pull all those trucks up to the castle.
You are busy, Thomas.
Oh, dear. Hello, sir. Merry Christmas.
I'm afraid I'm not feeling very merry at the moment, Thomas. I'm supposed to be at Brendam Docks, but I twisted my ankle so I can't drive. Oh, would you be able to take me instead?
Oh, I'd love to help, sir, but I've got to take the singers to their rehearsal and then trucks up to...
don't mind me then.
But if one of my friends can help me, sir, I'm sure that I can help you. Merry Christmas, Diesel!
Huh, what reason have we to be merry?
I was wondering if you'd help me.
No, Thomas, I can't help you. I'm busy.
Oh, Diesel is about as helpful as a chocolate firebox. Emily!
Luckily, Emily was happy to help Thomas, so he was able to take the Fat Controller to Brendam Docks.
Hurry up with that flatbed, Soapsy! These trains are coming loose!
Arr! My fuel line is frozen. I can't make it to you in time.
Whoa! Diesel! Help me! You need to push that flatbed onto these tracks before...
I need to do anything. I've got enough jobs to do without helping you do yours.
Arr! Shiver timbers! The tree!
Whoops.
If you'd been bothered to help Diesel, this never would have happened.
That's not my problem.
But Diesel? Christmas is a time for goodwill.
Bah, humbug.
At last, the huge Christmas tree was loaded onto a flatbed for Paxton to deliver to Ulfstead Castle.
Oh, that's a big one. I think I may need some help.
Oh, maybe Diesel could help you. He doesn't have any more trucks.
I told you I'm busy.
Oh, Diesel.
Paxton set off for the castle, but the huge tree was rolling around so much, the chains were coming loose. And with no back engine to see what was happening, there was nobody to warn Paxton.
Ow.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Bah, humbug.
Diesel, you came to help after all.
No, I didn't. One of those other engines that likes being helpful will be along soon enough.
Oh.
Paxton, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Just a little bit off the tracks, that's all.
Those tracks look like they'll need some repairs. But was that Diesel who just went by?
Yes, but I think Diesel must be very busy today, Thomas.
I'd like to find a way to teach that unhelpful Diesel just what being helpful is all about.
That evening, when Diesel returned, he found the diesel works mysteriously deserted.
Hello? Hello? Where is everybody? Okay, you can stop messing around now. What's that? Who's there?
I'm Marley's ghost, and I am here to warn you to stop being such an unhelpful engine.
I think we need more steam.
Just go away!
You shall be visited by 3 more ghosts before Christmas. Woo! The Fat Controller said he needs you to go to the docks tonight, or you'll be in big trouble.
Big trouble?
This plan of yours is great fun, Thomas.
Diesel raced quickly into the docks. He had been scared by the ghost and didn't like the sound of being in even more trouble.
Sir? Are you here, sir? Cranky? What was that you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
I should go. I think Thomas needs my help at the shunting yard.
You help Thomas? When was the last time you helped someone, Diesel?
Well...
Let's go back and see, shall we? Ooh, You weren't helpful that time you pushed those trucks into the sea. And you weren't helpful when you spilt milk on the Fat Controller either. And you definitely were not helpful when you refused to move the flatbed yesterday. Poor old Salty. Poor old Salty. So, how did poor old Salty do? Ooh, spooky! Spooky indeed.
Come on, Diesel. You must have been hearing things. There's no such thing as... Ghosts! Oh, no!
I am the ghost of Christmas present.
No, you're not. There's no such thing as ghosts.
Then I must be good at pretending. You shouldn't be hiding, Diesel. You should be out there enjoying all the extra jobs that Christmas brings.
Enjoying? Why would I enjoy doing extra work?
Because that's the way to make others happy, of course. Close your eyes, Diesel, and think. Think of the smiles on people's faces when they see the twinkling lights and sing Christmassy songs. And think of the laughter and fun as they open their presents. Whoa! And think of the shiny face of the Fat Controller as he eats his Christmas pod. Diesel?
Ghosts aren't real! Ghosts aren't real! Ghosts aren't real! Ghosts aren't real!
Diesel was in such a hurry that he didn't see the damaged tracks where Paxton had come off the rails.
Help! 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 Thomas? Is that you? Have you come to help me?
Sorry, Diesel, but I'm far too busy. It's nearly morning and I have lots of jobs to do. Today is the Earl's grand Christmas lunch.
Thomas? Wait!
Are you sure about this, Thomas?
Yes. Pile it on, Whiff!
I can't tell it's you!
Perfect! That's the idea!
What's that smell? Help! Somebody! Anybody!
I am the ghost of Christmas future.
Oh no! This is the worst Christmas ever!
If you think this is the worst Christmas, let me tell you what your future Christmases will be like. If you don't start helping others, others will stop helping you, and you'll be left alone. Alone forever. Forever.
Help! Help! I don't want to be left alone.
Meanwhile, up at the castle, the Earl was getting ready for all the guests to arrive.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Percy! Presents over there, please! The choir is here! Marvelous! Fa la 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 la! Oh, and the food for the lunch! But where are all the guests?
Thomas? Have you come to help?
Yes, Diesel, of course I have. I couldn't just abandon an engine who had come off the tracks.
Oh, thank you, Thomas. Thank you, thank you! Oh, I'm as light as a feather! I'm as merry as a schoolboy! If there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know, and I'll do it!
Really? Do you honestly mean that, Diesel?
Yes, Thomas, I do mean it. I do. I can take Rocky back to the Search and Rescue Centre.
Oh, thanks, Diesel. That would really help. I'm already late to take the guests to the Earl's Christmas lunch.
Finally, Thomas arrived at Knapford to pick up the passengers. He was in such a race to get to Ulfstead Castle that one important passenger got left behind.
Huh? Wait for me!
Diesel had taken Rocky back to the Search and Rescue Centre and was feeling very pleased with himself.
I never thought I'd say it, but it feels good to be helpful. Yes, it feels... Oh no! Not another ghost!
Oh, my ankle!
Sir? Shouldn't you be at the castle?
Yes, but I've no way of getting there.
Christmas, sir!
Welcome to my grand Christmas lunch. But where's Sir Topham?
Room for one more?
Let the grand Christmas lunch begin!
Those ghosts were right. It is quite nice to be helpful and see everyone happy.
Well done, Thomas. Your plan worked. Diesel is now a really helpful engine.
Merry Christmas, Diesel!
Merry Christmas, Thomas! Merry Christmas, everyone! If the Fat Controller thinks I'm stronger than Henry, he'll take me to the Great Railway Show instead of him! I'm full of surprises.
Are you singing, Diesel?
They ought to say of me, I bring some razzle-dazzle to the yard. I'm full of surprises. As you can plainly see, I don't find being surprising all that hard.
I can't really see anything under here.
I'm full of surprises, they ought to say of me. I bring some razzle-dazzle to the yard. I'm full of surprises, as you can plainly see. I don't find being surprising all that hard. Some would probably say I'm only up to my old tricks, but I'd say I'm a problem solver, looking for a nice quick fix. I'm full of surprises, they ought to say of me. I bring some razzle-dazzle to the rail. I'm full of surprises, as you can plainly see. I'm trusting my surprises to prevail. I hope this time being surprising doesn't fail. They used to call me devious, because I had a bit of previous.
That's someone I know.
But please, you must believe us. I'm not that bad. Well, maybe just a taste.
Sidney sings. Sidney is a very helpful engine.
Here you go. Job done.
Not again, Sidney. These trucks were meant to be taken to the quarry.
But he's also a very forgetful engine. Once, Sidney had been left hanging on the gantry at the diesel works.
Sidney, how long have you been up there?
I'll forget.
It's been about 2 years.
Percy helped Sidney to get his new wheels, and ever since, the two of them have been good friends. One day, Percy had an accident and came off the rails at the foot of Gordon's Hill.
Oh no! What's happened?
Percy's had a little accident. There was a loose rail.
I've damaged my wheels. A bit like when you damaged your wheels. Remember?
Not really.
We need to get Percy to the steamworks, Sidney.
I could take him. I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you are, Sidney. You're taking those trucks to the Blue Mountain Quarry.
Am I? Yes, so I am. Oh, bye now.
Isn't he going the wrong way?
He must be the most forgetful engine ever.
A few days later, Sidney found himself at Knapford Station.
Ah, Sidney! Are you busy at the moment?
Busy? I don't think so.
Well, in that case, I have a job for you. Percy's new wheels have arrived at Brendam Docks.
Oh. Why does Percy need new wheels?
Because of his accident.
Percy's had an accident? Oh, no!
This is a very special job, Sidney.
I want you to collect the wheels and take them to the steamworks.
A special? Oh, how exciting! And I'll be helping my friend Percy. Oh, leave it to me, sir. Oh, dear.
What's the matter, Sidney?
You know how forgetful I am, Thomas. I'm always setting off on a job and ending up in the wrong place. And now I have to collect Percy's wheels, and I don't want to let my good friend down.
Sometimes when I want to remember something important, I make up a little song to remind me.
We like songs, don't we, Clarabelle? We love songs!
Something to help you remember, Sidney. Like this. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee, a very special job for me.
All the way to Brendan Docks to fetch our very special box.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Thomas. As long as I keep singing my song, I can't go wrong. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee, a very special job for me. All the way to Brendan Docks to fetch a very special box.
Now that he had his song to help him, Sidney was confident he wouldn't forget.
Hee hee hee, a very special job for me. All the way to... Gordon! Gordon! The Fat Controller has asked me to do a special.
Ha! I've had more specials than you've had hot boilers.
Silly old Gordon. I'm a diesel. I don't have a boiler. Ha ha ha. Hey, 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 a very special job for me. All the way to, something important. But I've forgotten what.
Talking to Gordon had made Sidney forget his song.
Was it something to do with boilers? Oh, maybe I was on my way to Whiff's waste dump to pick up an old boiler. Yes, that must be it. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, 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 a very special job for me. All the way to Whiff's waste dump to fetch a boiler. Or was it a pump?
Hello, Sidney! What are you doing here?
I'm not sure, but I think I might be collecting a boiler.
A boiler? But we don't have any boilers here at the moment.
Oh no, I've forgotten what I'm supposed to be doing.
It's a shame you're not an elephant, Sidney.
An elephant? Oh, why's that, Whiff?
They say that elephants never forget.
Oh, perhaps my special job was something to do with elephants. Yes, that's it. I was supposed to pick up an elephant. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, 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 a very special job for me. I must get there before it's dark to collect an elephant from the animal park. Oh dear, there's no elephant here. I must have got it wrong. Again. Oh, I'll never remember what my special job is. I'll have to go back and tell the Fat Controller that I've let him down.
But at Knapford Station, some of the passengers had a different problem.
Oh dear, where has that train got to?
What's the matter?
Our train hasn't arrived to take us to Brendan Docks.
We have to get there quickly to catch our cruise ship.
Maybe this is my special job. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, 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 a very special job for me. These people are going on a trip and I'm taking them to catch their ship.
I don't believe it. I sent Sidney to pick up these wheels hours ago. Where on earth has that silly little diesel got to? wonderful little diesel you have here.
A very useful engine indeed.
Job done, sir.
But what about Percy's wheels?
Huh? What do you mean, sir?
Oh, I wanted you to take Percy's new wheels to the steamworks.
Oh, you mean you want me to do another special? Oh, I'd be delighted. Hey, another special job for me. On me, you know, you can depend. I'm going to the steamworks to see my friend.
Poor Percy was still waiting for his new wheels. He'd been waiting all day.
Sidney, where have you been?
Huh? Oh, well, I've picked up an elephant from the waste dump to bring Gordon the Earl's new boiler. And
Elephant? Boiler? But what's about... my wheels!
Huh? Oh, yeah, I brought your new wheels. You didn't think I'd forget, did you?
Diesel and the ducklings. It was early morning and Thomas had brought some trucks to Brendam Docks.
Hello, Cranky. Hi, Salty.
Ahoy there, shipmate. Hello, Thomas.
Whoa! Watch out! Who's that pushing?
It's me, Diesel. Out of the way, slow coach.
There's no need for that, Diesel.
Yes, there is, Thomas. I'm a diesel. Hard as nails, always gruff. A diesel should be rough and tough.
No, that's not true, matey. I'm a diesel too. I may be gruff, but I'm never rough.
Well, you must be a softy then.
Why does he always have to act like that?
Later that morning, on his way back from the docks, Thomas stopped to talk to Percy at the washdown.
Hello, Percy.
Hello, Thomas. I'm just having a quick wash before I start work. What? What? Hey! Who's doing that?
Don't pop a piston, Percy.
Diesel! But I was here first.
And now I'm here. Goodbye.
You know, Diesel, if you were nicer to other engines, you'd have more friends.
My friends don't like me because I'm nice, Thomas. They like me because I'm rough and tough. Isn't that right, lads?
Yeah, Diesel. Yeah. Rough and tough. Rough and tough. Rough and tough.
Later that day, Thomas was still thinking about Diesel when he suddenly saw him, stopped up ahead.
Oh, no! Not Diesel again.
Look at you. Oh.
I've had quite enough of him already today. What's he doing? Who's he talking to?
Oh, what cute little duckies. Aren't you lovely and fluffy? Yes, you are.
Thomas couldn't believe it. He'd never heard Diesel being so sweet and gentle before.
Hard as nails? Strong and tough? If everyone could see you now, Diesel, they would think you were the big softy. Oh, I can't wait to tell them all about this.
No, Thomas, please don't do that. They'll all laugh and make fun of me.
Just like you do to them, Diesel. If you can be nice to these ducklings, then why can't you be nice to the rest of us?
I could, but...
Diesel?
Okay, all right, I'll be nice and friendly and kind and if you promise not to tell them about the, you know what.
Okay, I promise I won't tell as long as you're nice to everyone.
Thanks, Thomas. You're a pal.
So Diesel tried to be nice to everybody he met that day.
Lovely day, Gordon. Say hello to Thomas for me. And tell him how nice I'm being. Looking good, Henry. Tell Thomas I said hi. Good morning, Edward. Have a nice day. You going to see Thomas later? Oh, look. It's Little Lady Longfunnel.
That's very good.
Little Lady Longfunnel. Are you sure you have the puff to pull those heavy coaches, Emily?
Stop being so horrid, Diesel.
I'll be just as horrid as I like. Hard as nails, always gruff. A Diesel should be...
Diesel? Quack, quack, quack.
No, Thomas, please. I just wanted to say, what a fine, strong, helpful engine you are, Emily. And your funnel is fabulous. Well, I'll be off then.
Hey? What? Diesel?
Bye now.
What's the matter with him?
I have no idea.
Diesel just couldn't help going back to his old ways.
Oh, get a move on, Diesel!
Diesel! You're making us all late!
Oh dear, don't get steamed up about it.
Quack, quack, quack!
So Thomas kept on quacking to remind Diesel of his promise.
About time. Carry on, carry on. I know you both have very important jobs to do.
But no matter how many times Thomas reminded him of his promise, it was very hard for Diesel to change his ways, especially in front of his friends.
Stop that, Diesel! Not so well! But it's fun!
Diesel, quack, quack, quack!
Oh, Thomas, it's too hard to be nice to everyone all the time. I can't do it anymore.
But you were nice to those ducklings.
Ducklings?
What
ducklings?
Follow me, Arry and Bert, and let me introduce you to Diesel's new best friends.
No, Thomas, no!
I still don't get it. Where are we going?
You'll see.
Thomas, you promised not to tell!
And you promised to be nice. Faster, Arry and Bert! Keep up!
Thomas, look out! The ducklings!
Cinders and ashes!
Oh, no!
What are you playing at, Thomas?
Thomas, you were going much too fast. You have to be more careful when you're around these lovely little ducklings.
I'm sorry. I didn't see them. You're a hero, Diesel. Not to mention a really big softie.
No, I'm not. I'm rough, and I'm tough, and I'm...
Sweet. Oh, who's a little fluffy ducky then? So cute and fluffy wuffy.
You see, Diesel? Nobody's laughing at you.
Yes, but...
You don't have to be rough and tough all the time. It's okay to show your soft side.
Well... They are adorable, aren't they? Oh, cooey! Nice ducky!
Oh, look at their tiny little wings.
And away they whittle waddle. Oh, little diddums.
You try to be tough and play the part. But when it comes to ducklings, You're all softies at heart.
Oh, go away, you little fun boys. Sweeties, aren't you?
Cheeky one. James. Is vain but lots of fun. Percy. Pulls the medal time. Gordon. Thunders down the line. Emily. Really knows her stuff. Henry. Toots and huffs and puffs. Edward. Wants to help and share. Toby. Well, let's say he's square. They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight. Shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew. All the different roles to play around Tidmouth Shed so far away. Down the hills and round the bends, Thomas and his
Thomas the Quarry Engine. At the very end of Thomas's branch line lies the Farquhar Quarry, one of the oldest quarries on the island of Sodor. Mavis is the diesel engine who works there, shunting troublesome trucks of heavy stone.
Get in line and get ready. You're all heading off to the docks this afternoon.
It's not an easy job, but Mavis knows how to keep the troublesome trucks in line. One day, there was a big order of stone to be taken from the quarry to Brendam Docks. Thomas and Diesel had been sent to collect it, but they couldn't agree which of them would be the back engine.
It would be better for you to be my back engine, Diesel. After all, it is my branch line.
Nonsense, Thomas. You should be my back engine. Having a diesel on your branch line is bound to improve it.
I could pull the trucks by myself.
Don't make me laugh. Those troublesome trucks are much too heavy for one engine, especially a steamy like you.
You two should stop arguing. You don't know how lucky you are. I work here in the quarry all the time. At least you get to see the rest of Sodor and the seaside.
Would you like to be my back engine, Mavis?
Oh, no, Thomas. I have too much work to do here. There are more trucks to get ready and...
I'm sure Diesel can look after things here until you get back.
That does sound nice, if Diesel agrees. In fact, it's a lovely idea.
Well, I've got a better one. You can be my front engine, Mavis. Diesels are new and revolutionary. We'd be two diesels working together.
Well, I suppose. Please, Thomas, can you look after things here until I get back?
Ta-ta, Thomas. See you later.
There are more trucks to get ready. They need to go to the docks by 4. But you'll have to mind them. They can be very troublesome.
I do know how to look after troublesome trucks, Mavis.
Thomas set to work taking empty trucks to be filled with stone and shunting full trucks into line. But the trucks were very troublesome. They didn't like to be pushed.
Oh, stop that!
And they didn't like to be pulled.
Oh, stop! This is all!
Thomas began to get a little impatient. He was ready for Mavis and Diesel to come back.
Oh, I do love to be beside the seaside.
Arr! You're an engine after me own heart, Mavis. Arr!
Thanks for letting me work with you, Diesel. But we really do have to get back.
What's the rush? We could do another job together. These goods trucks need to go to the shunting yard. Come on.
Ha-ha! Here they are, at last. You're not Mavis and Diesel? I never said we were, did I?
I would have noticed if you had.
But these troublesome trucks need to get to the docks, and I need a back engine to take them. Would you like to work with me, Toby? You could be my back engine. That's too many troublesome trucks for me, Thomas. And besides, I have to take the quarry workers home for their supper.
Just be patient, Thomas. I'm sure Mavis and Diesel will be back very soon.
Mavis and Diesel had delivered the goods trucks to the shunting yard. Now Mavis was ready to get back to the quarry.
I've had a great time, Diesel, but I really do need to get back now.
But there are more trucks here that need to be taken to Vickerstown, Mavis. We make a good team, you and me. You get to see the Vickerstown Bridge.
Thomas was still waiting and was getting very impatient.
The Fat Controller will be very cross if these troublesome trucks don't get to the docks on time. But he would be very happy if I took them myself. That's it! I'll show that revolutionary Diesel I don't need a back engine after all.
The troublesome trucks thought that was a great idea.
Yes, Thomas! Ah, do it! We won't push and we won't go back. We'll be on our very best behavior.
The trucks were heavy and hard to pull without a back engine. But once they were rolling, they went very well. Until they reached the first hill.
Hold back! Hold back!
Without a back engine to push from behind, it was very hard to pull the heavy trucks up the hill.
Oh! You said you were going to be good!
Sorry, Thomas. We forgot. We won't hold you back anymore.
What? No! Wait!
Without a back engine to hold back from behind, it was very hard to slow down. And Thomas's brake van wasn't strong enough to stop the heavy trucks.
Toby, look out!
Luckily, a signalman switched him onto a siding.
Thomas, what happened?
You two were taking so long, I decided not to wait and took the troublesome trucks by myself.
Without a back engine?
Not a good idea, I know.
Sorry, Thomas. I did tell Mavis a number of times that we should get back to the quarry.
What? You never said... Oh!
Mavis and Diesel helped to get Thomas and the troublesome trucks back on the line.
I know naughty Diesel and Mavis left you all on your own, Thomas, but you should never have taken those trucks without a back engine.
I'm sorry, sir. I was trying to be useful.
the Fat Controller sent Mavis back to the quarry to do what she does best. But he also realized that now and then it was nice for her to take trucks down to the docks. And that makes Mavis a very happy engine indeed.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the prom, where the brass bands play
diddly-om-pom-pom. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea.
When I'm down beside the sea, I'm beside myself,
beside the seaside, beside the sea.
He's full of surprises, just like he'll always be. He brings some razzle-dazzle to the yard. He's full of surprises, as you can plainly see. He don't find being surprising all that hard. Some would probably say he's only up to his old tricks, but he'd say he's a problem solver, looking for a nice quick fix. He's full of surprises, just like he'll always be. He brings some razzle-dazzle to the rail. He's full of surprises, as you can plainly see. He's trusting his surprises to prevail. He hopes his time being surprising doesn't fail. They used to call him devious, because he had a bit of previous. But please, you must believe us, he's not that bad. Well, maybe just a tad.